All right. Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? I am trying something a little bit different by default because as I was getting set up, I kid you not, the camera that's aimed on me kept freezing up on me. So thankfully, I had a backup camera and I had to zip upstairs and get that installed. So I'm still trying to tweak the color a little bit on what's on focus on me because I'm so pale. And right now it's just like, let's just make you a vampire. So that's something I'll fiddle around when I have more time later on. But hi and hello, everyone. It is actually a Wednesday where it is not a snow day. The kids aren't home or a kid isn't sick. I just have to laugh at how this winter's been going. But it is so good to see all these great people in the chat already. We have King John, we have Alan N, we have Mia, we have Matt S, we have Two Guns Painting. So hello to you all. I'm starting to get into prep time now for D&D in a Castle because for those of you who know or don't know rather, I am doing a DM in the evening game where I've been writing up this homebrew that I'm working on, and I am bringing terrain and miniatures and things like that with me, so I am trying to make sure I get these things going. So today what I'm doing is I am getting the accessories for Bianca Beltane's study pulled together, and I'm very excited for this. And if you want to see this homebrew in action, I will be DMing tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Scraticus Academy Eastern Standard Time, and you'll get to see this little homebrew in the act of being played out, especially because it's going to be new players coming in. I always love working with new players. And I love how in the chat we're all talking about the the weather and how cold it is or how warm it is for some. Yeah, 78 degrees sounds heavenly right now, Alan. I'm not even going to kid you. That's why the hat's on. I am so cold. I put a hat on because it does help. I did it yesterday in a stream last night and it really helped. Enough of my chitter chatter. So what I'm doing is I'm using these fantastic accessories that WizKids sent to me, and they have been sitting over on my little display zone of things that need to be painted. And I realized that this is definitely stuff that I can put to use. So I saved the back panels so you can see what I'm putting to use today. And in this one, we have this lovely collection. And this, I believe, is the Wizard's Room. And it gives you some really cool things like books, book ends. The skull and book thing I actually used on the Xanathar the Xanathar miniature that I painted up a little while back. So you won't be seeing this guy, but I am going to be painting up all of these other ones that you see on this back panel here. I'm also pulling out the desk and chair that WizKids has. A lot of that stemmed from the fact that even though I do already have a desk and chair painted that I did from Tiny Furniture, so many people liked how it looked. I wanted to show you how I did it. And hello, Achille, and let's see, who else jumped in? Anyone else? Nope, that was just it. So we got this one going to be painted as well. And then finally we have the witches. I want to say this is the witch's den or witch's room. Everything is linked in the description below if you want to purchase these items. I did make sure to include links for you. Ciao! Hello, Max. How you doing? So this also has, again, it's a nice little book pedestal as well as a book. And then we have a cauldron because, I mean, you know, got to have a cauldron for Bianca, and I think this is supposed to be like a scrying pool type of thing, sort of, you know, a pensieve a la Dumbledore, but I'm going to do something fun with it for Bianca. So this is all of the things I'm going to be working on, and again, these are all linked in the description should you want to get some of these minis. The first thing I wanted to start up with is showing you, first of all, they do have some really good details in them. So this is the desk in question, and you can see it has this really fantastic wood grain to it, which I really love. So I'll show you how I bring out all those details and what I do when I come to painting things like wooden furniture, since that was something that cropped up in a question from the desk that I previously painted. But what I'm going to start with are the lovely, and these are small. I mean, this is my pinky and those are the bottles. So these things are itty bitty. Let me shift this over yonder. And so I'm going to start with getting these bottles painted up first. Now, you know me, you know I like to go a little bit off the straight and narrow path. I actually grabbed some nail polish that I have that I thought would be fun for painting the lower bits of the bottles. And then what I'm going to do is do a wash on top of them to give the bottles different colors. So the washes that I grabbed are from Citadel, and I'm going to be using the Seraphim Sepia, which is actually a really nice amber brown. I didn't want to go Agrex because that was almost too dark brown. I didn't want to have it like a completely darker, almost like a really opaque beer bottle mode. I want to keep some translucency going here. So that's why I'm going for the sepia here. And then I'm also going to, for green bottles, use the Bealtan green. So that's the plan for the washes on these. Now, like I said, I'm going to be using nail polish for this, so this should be fun. They made the witches, so see, King John says they made the back of the witch's book look way too nice when you're never going to see it. Well, you never know. You might flip. I do it with my books. I'll flip it over and put it down. Hello, Julio. How are you? And yes, they are darn tiny, Alan. I agree. So these are the polishes that I grabbed from my collection. So this I thought was a really neat, sort of just like a swampy green color that I have. Classic red because, I wonder why. Which potion should be red? And then I have this awesome blue one that has flecking in it of different sizes of glitter, so it has some sparkles to it. And I've got this nice copper, which I thought that would be cool as a potion color. And then this, which it's actually a really cool nail polish. It has a color shift to it, so it gets like this navy blue, a dark emerald green, and then black. So this is another one I thought could be a really cool sort of like a poison nod if you want. So these are what I'm going to use, and you can use nail polishes on your minis. The trick is that if you're going to do it, you need to make sure you have for your brush for cleaning nail polish remover. Now you have to be careful because if you get the kind that is 100% acetone, it's going to do funky things to your minis. So when it comes to working with nail polish on your minis, what you do is you first rinse your brush in the acetone, not the acetone, in the nail polish remover that isn't acetone based. And then you will rinse it off in just some plain water as you're working between colors. And to be safe, use a brush you don't want to keep. Because sometimes, you may have delayed a little bit and it gets a little bit too overused, and then bye-bye brush. So let me just quickly tuck this. Yoink! Look at my shoulder right there for you. All right, put the remover out of the way. So what I'm going to start with doing first is I think I'm going to make up a few health potions. How's that sound? So if you want to get technical and know what I'm using for nail polish, although I will say, just go to Dollar Tree because they have like dollar nail polishes and it's perfect. It works just fine. So what I'm using is called Ruby Ruby. This is cracking me up. And this is from Sinful Colors. And I actually think this is something I got at CVS. So what I'm going to do is I am going to sort of just pop the top off at an angle and use one brush to pick up some of the nail polish, and then I'm going to zip over here, and I want to do this more rounded off bottle. These are going to be hard to really make sure they're showing up, and I'm just going to skim around the edge here. And the nice thing about nail polish is it dries so super fast, but what I don't want to do is completely opaque out the bottle so that it loses the light that can come through it, which is why I'm focusing on doing nail polishes and washes for this particular type of mini base plastic, because I want it to have sort of that glow to them still in the long run. And the other thing, because I have to travel with these, I am going to glue these onto some different pieces. So some of these will get glued onto the desk and things like that. And that's just, on an airplane, having them sort of flop around free is not going to work out too well. So I figured if I get them glued on, that way I'm not having to keep track of all these little niddly biddly bits. It'll still be a fun little touch, because the other thing I am trying to do is make sure that I keep this at a reasonable amount, because I'm planning on a suitcase for the terrains and for the minis. I don't want to bring a full what's that, steamer trunk of things, because that would just make it very, very interesting. All right, so here's with the first layer of that nail polish on. And actually, let me try this. All right, so just to divide it from the other bottle. So what I did is I kind of painted it so that the edge is not completely to the top, but you can see just by putting it around the outside, already it's picked up the red tones to it, but it's still a little see-through. Because like I said, I want this to have more of that translucent thing going on. So that's with the red there. And I can guarantee you, because I've been chitter-chattering, this is already drying up on me. So like I said before, I'm just going to dip this into... I just took the cap from the nail polish remover bottle. I didn't bother with anything special. But obviously it's pulling off the nail polish like I wanted it to. So I'm going to blot it off on my paper towel. And then, like I said before, rinse. Just in between before you put it to your minis. So that's one health potion done. Now I'm looking to see, is there any other bottles? Because I have another, I have another set over here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do, let's do this one too. I'm going to do that one. I think I'm going to do more red on that one, just to kind of get that going. Now, if the music is too loud, let me know. I'm trying to play around with this a little bit so that you can still hear the music coming through, but I can too, just to kind of control it a little bit more without having to worry about headphones. So yoink. And then this guy's definitely going to get some more red here. I'm going to actually take it up to that edge since this is a smaller bottle. Now, obviously, since I'm planning on putting the washes over it, it won't stay the true ruby red, which is why if you really want that red, well, I'm doing this on a red bottle cap. That was smart. That was real smart. You may find you're going to want to go back and do a second layer, which I think I am going to do. It's a second layer around. Let's see here. Those who print smaller minis, how does one trim the supports? Oh, that's a very good question. Alan's got a question with 3D miniature printing, trimming off the supports for the smaller minis. Very, very carefully would be my advice, just from personal experience. It helps to have a slow and steady hand. And if you're getting frustrated, stop. Not even kidding. I don't know how many times things have broken because you start getting frustrated with it and it's like, yeah, bonk, and off it goes, which not the best. All right, so like I said, that was kind of one of, oh, there you go. So you can see I brought it up a little bit higher on this bottle since it's a smaller bottle. I'm trying to think here. Maybe I might do this one too. That could be fun. Or, oh, no. I'm going to take this because there's one that's a cool grouping of 3. I'm going to do a little bit more red on this grouping of 3. And I'll go back around and do one more coat on all the ones that I just painted. So this one has a grouping of 3 right here. So I'm going to do this one in the red as well. And the cool thing I'm hoping to achieve here is to play around with the different washes. And then that way, some of the bottles will be brown-ish, some of them will be green, and some of them I am going to leave just clear as is for the fun of it, because why not? Why not do it that way? What else? But yeah, so like I said, it's getting to be crunch time for the castle for me because I have all this work I need to get pulled together for it. So you're going to be noticing with the crafting tutorials that the projects are all pretty much focused on basically creating stuff that'd be good for taverns and hotels and things like that. And there'll be some crossover for more modern-esque builds and games out there. And I am going to be working on a system of tiles as well that will hopefully help me cut down on some bulk when traveling. So keep an eye on for that one too. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of ideas I have floating around in my head right now. Hello, yeah, nice to see you. I'm glad you didn't miss it. I know I have to keep, like, last week had to be canceled because snow day, the kids were home and they were just bouncing off the walls at this point. So it was just like, you know what, not worth getting all stressed and trying to keep them quiet. Let's just call it and we'll jump back to it the next week, which is this week. But yeah, I'm basically, the focus is lightweight, compact, but effective. And the ideas that I have, I'm hoping will translate well and people will like seeing. All right, I think that's enough on that one bottle. I'm going to go back to this one that I started with. And yeah, because I know there are people out there who don't have the luxury of DMing from their home. There are traveling DMs out there, and I want to try and give them some things to work with as well. Because it's very easy to have these massive, massive pieces that you can keep in your basement, guilty as charged. But you know, now that I'm going to be a over-the-pond traveling mode, I realize that there's a lot of stuff, I would love to bring it with me. It's too much. It's too much. It's too big. I need to pare down things and get it figured out to be a little bit more feasible and reasonable in the long run. So yeah, so I hope you guys will enjoy what I'm going to be doing. Next week, I'm going to have a video up. I'm actually almost done editing it this week too, which is nice. I'm going to have a video up on how to make miniature rugs for these types of places. And then that way, you know, something fun and different. And it's actually really easy too, which I was very happy about. I did not have to overthink it too much. I just did, and it worked, and hooray, and moving along goodness. So that'll be out Friday next week. And honestly, depending on the rate of how much I'm creating and what I'm making, and if I have the time, I might try and sneak in a couple extra craft tutorials here and there on Fridays when I can. But it's getting busy. Not a bad way, but it's getting busy. And then it was officially announced. I don't know if I announced it here because of all the wacky scheduling stuff we had going on, but I will be at PAX East. I am going to be on a panel, and that is going to be Friday morning, Bumblebee Theater. Not even kidding. Bumblebee Theater, 10 a.m. I will be speaking with Kelly the Opera Geek, Eugenio Vargas, as well as Aris Savad, who, if you haven't discovered her yet, she makes some really awesome dice accessories and dice bags and trays and lovely things like that. So we're all going to be speaking about, basically PCs and identity and creating and lovely stuff like that. So I'm very excited for that. And it's being moderated by the wonderful Dr. B. So it's going to be a fun panel. Are the live streams replayable? Yes, King John, right? King John, yes. I have them set up so it'll be video on demand. Usually what happens is right after I am done, I have this purposely go into unlisted so that I can go and tweak a few things if needed. And then I will put it up for public viewing, usually within 2 to 3 hours after I finish the first initial stream. All right, so here are these bottles painted up in the red. And then I think I'm going to jump over to... the blue? She questions. Should we do the blue? The blue would be fun. The sparkly blue? I think we're going to do this one now. I think this will be fun for a couple bottles. Absolutely. And so yeah, that is something that's coming up in March, which I'm really looking forward to. And I also did speak with WizKids, and they're going to send along some more stuff for me to be able to put to use for the scatter pieces I need for this game. So I'm excited about that to see what else comes along. I do have I'm turning away from the microphone. Good. I do have the library set, which I do want to paint that up too, but that I think I might do a little bit later on down the line. And then you'll see some other things cropping up in the craft tutorials that'll be more, different ways to sort of divide up spaces and keep things organized and work to those who like to work with a grid and those who are fine without grid. I'm playing around with things. So I'm hoping the playing around will work out well. And let's see here. I'm going to put this right over here. Now this is a lot lighter, so this one may not work. Although it does give the sparkle, so that might be to my benefit. If anything, I'll keep this as one of those clear bottles so the wash doesn't mute it too much. But this will definitely be a couple layers of this. I don't think I'll play around with this too much with other bottles. I'll just leave it to like maybe this one and one other. But it's very faint once you get it onto... I had a piece of paper here, a black piece of paper, and I don't know where it went. You can see it's very, 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 very faint right now. So we'll just keep playing and layering and see what happens with that one. And then what else? Hello, Jason. Nice to see you. And then I am, for my patrons, and this is patrons at all levels, I am going to run some of these games for Welcome to BB's Place. So if you want to jump in and be able to play, you just have to become one of my patrons. And that's pretty simple. You can go to Patreon, or if you want to do a direct patron subscription, you can do it through my website, which is thecraftingmuse.com. Very hard to remember, I know. But we already have people lined up for March 22nd. I think I have 2 more seats left for that one. So if you're one of my patrons and you're watching this, please let me know if you want to join us on March 22nd to play the game. Things will get started around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do it through the Discord channel that I have set up for that. Hello, Andy M. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do a little bit more layering on that one, but I think I'm going to do one more. Oh, you know what? There's this really cool little short and stout one right here. I'm going to do with that, but I'm definitely not going to bother with putting washes on these guys, because that's just going to completely get rid of what the nail polish has going on right now. It's kind of fun jumping into itty bitty little things, and these are itty bitty bitty little things. So I'm going to get these bottles painted up with the potions, then I'll do the washes, and then I'm going to jump over to working on the desk. I think will be the game plan for today. And again, let me know if anything needs to be adjusted volume-wise, and I'll do what I can. All right, so that's short and stout taken care of. We have a health potion right there. I think I'm going to do let's do the green. Let's do that sickly, cool, swampy green that I have going on. That'll be fun too. And again, the reason why I'm doing nail polish is because it tends to keep a little bit more translucent. And because of the frosted plastic, I want to keep the light kind of going through it just to play with that as well to my advantage. Hence why I'm doing that. But that's not to say you can't use craft paints, mini paints, paints. It'll still work. It just has a slightly different effect. Shake this up. You can hear the little agitator in there. So we'll get that going now. And so how's everyone else been in the chat? I haven't spoken to you guys in, geez, a couple weeks now. Any cool things happening for you? Because I do like to hear if you got some fun stuff going on for you. That's always good. All right, let's do this guy. Would be fun to LED light them. Yeah, these types of, because we have, or WizKids, not we have. WizKids has like those ghosty specters and wraith ones. And they do look cool with the little lighting underneath them, especially on how you paint them. Hello, Serene Kim. How are you? And Jody B, you're not too late. You're still here. I'm just painting small minis. Small little bottles of minis. But since I am going to be gluing these down, it probably won't work with lighting them from underneath. And again, that's more for my own sanity for when I'm traveling with them. So I'm not worrying about tiny little bottles rolling away from me or out of the suitcase or whatever. That's going to be a fun bag for customs, though. Should try glow. I do have glow-in-the-dark paint. It's one of those things I just haven't started playing around with quite yet. So we shall see. All right. Now I need to get slightly quiet for a second because I've got to get in between two of the bottles to get to the back of this bottle. I'm not going to do them all with potions. I think it's kind of neat to have a couple of little like almost empty ones. You can see the green's taken on there with that one. And I'm going to go back over to this collection. This pyramid one I think I'm going to do. That looks like fun. Small con this weekend for Dennis McDonald. That's awesome. Which con is that? Because there seems to be a couple of smaller cons this weekend based on what I'm seeing. Bottles are fun. Bottles are like a neat little extra touch. That is for sure, Bernard. Of course, now I'm trying to remember the con that I heard of yesterday that someone was going to be doing. And it plumb clear flew out of my head. That's been the other fun thing. I have purposely been watching Miss Fisher's, I don't know if you've had Netflix, Miss Fisher's Mysteries, I think it's called. I watch the thing to death as it is. But because of the time in which it takes place, I love watching it because it's good for me to just get visual references going in my head for describing stuff. But then I'll also be watching True Blood for the accent factor. But it's been funny. Like, what am I in the mood for now? Let's go there. Oh, no, switch over. Time for this. I think I might give this one sort of an amber bottle look to it when I'm done getting this painted on. Okay, so there's that one. Which that's fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. All right, let me do the third one again to put another layer of this color on. You know what? I don't think I'm going to do this. I was thinking about the black one. I don't know. I'll think about it. Yeah, I'll do the black one because it's like I said, it's like a neat poison color. Oh, I don't think that was quite dry yet. Yeah, maybe not quite dry enough on that side. Oop, brush slip. That's easy enough to fix though. All right, so I'm going to let this dry a little bit more on that color because that was pulling up. Not quite dry yet. Not quite dry yet. Let's see, Andy says, all good. Oh, that's awesome that you're able to sell and get another commission. Congratulations. Good for you. What was the sculpted mini, if you don't mind sharing or explaining or describing something along those lines? All right, let's do this lovely black color shift one. Yes, Miss Fisher's is just so much fun to watch, and I'm bummed it's only so many seasons long, but what can you do? It's one of those deals. You have no control over it. The TV people do and we don't. Alright. What are we doing on time? I think what I'm going to do, because I wanted to at least get color on these, I can always do the wash in between, but I did want to get around to doing the desk at the very least. So I think I'm going to get this poison color going, and then I'll jump over to painting up the desk for today. And that way you guys can see how I started getting that going. Yeah, I definitely need this to color, not color, but to dry more so the color doesn't lift up. All right, so that's one bottle with poison on it. Of course, because they're so small, the camera's like, what are you doing? Underground Monster Carnival, Oklahoma City. Oh, very cool. All right, so that's a thing that's going on. Dennis, if you want to put information about that into the chat for anyone who might be in that area. Oh, God, yes, Alan N. Oh, boy. The ending for True Blood I was not a fan of, let's put it that way. That was disappointing. It really was disappointing. I mean, it's one of those things I think, because that's another show I've watched a few times over. I think I actually stopped before the last season and just kind of shrug my shoulders, know what happens, but don't really bother to watch it again. And, oh, Jolene, hello. Aw, that's sweet. Well, hello, little grandson. Thank you for watching. I love it. That's so sweet. I'm going to get this guy with some poison. Yeah, I think all of these are definitely going to be like a second layer. Like I said, I want to get to the desk too. So we'll put this down. Not like they're going anywhere. We'll stop with the potions. And then I'll jump over to doing the desk up. But oh yeah, that looks really play nice. Play nice. I know there's small camera. Work with me. That looks really fun for the poison bottle. All right, so let me put these to the side. They're going to dry. Also, I should make sure. Have I watched the original animated? Of course. Yeah, wow. I loved that show. Are you kidding me? And let me see here. I'm just catching up with the chat. So, no, we actually got the kids watching it, God, a couple months ago. And I'm trying to remember why we stopped. I think it was because travel was picking back up for Hubs, and that's something we like to watch together with them. You know, family time. Cool stuff like that. All right, so these I'm going to tuck over here, and then I need my desk. So I'm going to start working on this guy so you can see how I go getting the whole wood tones and everything. But look at how fun this is. It's got the little drawers, so I'll be doing the pull handles. I'll definitely do last. So right now you're just going to see me painting over those. I won't do the details on them until the bitter end. And this is where I said I'm just going to take some of these cool accessories and I'm going to put them on the top of the desk so that it has that all set and ready to go. And it's a really fun look. I was playing around before I started painting things up. But yeah, this is just, I love the texture. Like I'm petting it. That's good. Let me pet my desk. So what I'm going to do first is when it comes to painting woods, it does help to consider the undertones that you see in the wood first. And I want this desk to have warm undertones to it. So I'm actually going to go in with the leather brown from Vallejo. And I'm going to dry brush this on to bring up those really fun textures. Leave the recesses of the wood grain as dark as possible, quite frankly. And then I'll be doing layering of other browns on top of this. But this gets the whole warmer undertone of the wood established, because you can see this is a yellowish brown that I'm going to start basing everything off of. And it definitely helps kind of give that depth to the wood layers and everything like that. So I like doing that. And let's see here. Gonna test your steady hand to paint a skull on the poison bottle. That gets kind of fussy. I don't know, maybe. But I make no promises on that one because, like I said, I'm kind of in crunch mode. Maybe when I get back, I can fiddle with that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a flathead brush here, and I'm going to start dragging this across the top. And like you've seen me do before, I like to test always on my skin. Yep, that's about the load I want on there because I can still see the texture of my skin, although the camera can't because I'm so pale. So we have that. Hello, Vince, you are back. Welcome back. Important thing when you're doing dry brushing with wood grain is you go, no pun intended, against the grain. And we're just going to pull this color over like this. It's pretty straightforward, which I like. And right now it almost looks like tiger's pattern, which I think is cool. So if you want to paint a tiger, there you go. But you can see it's starting to bring out that wood grain, which I wanted. And you want to make sure that you're not pulling it down with the wood grain, because otherwise you're just painting in all those lovely deep grooves, and what's the point in that? Yeah, I am cold. That's why the hat's on. I am not a winter girl. I'm great with fall and I'm great with spring. But holy moly. I mean, snow is pretty and everything, but it's also a pain in the butt. I'd rather just stick to 3 out of the 4 seasons. And this has just been a weird winter in terms of the weather we've been getting too. As you can see there, it's kind of bringing out those textures. Hooray. And the other thing I do try and do is make sure I get color that loads a little bit onto the corner here to help that corner pop out more as it comes down to it. Don't laugh, I'm going to turn this upside down. For some reason it's harder for me to pull the opposite direction. So if I flip this over, it goes back in the from right to left mode that my hand seems to like best when doing dry brushing. That's the other thing to keep in mind. When you're painting minis, you don't have to keep holding it in the same position. Move them around, it'll help you get to different angles a lot faster and a lot more easily, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. But this sort of just helps get everything pulled up, and you can see, look at that detail. Isn't that fun? I love it. Oh, let's see. Yet Ohio? What do you mean by that? Yet Ohio with your comment there, Alan. I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together. Table is just my like writing table at home. Oh, that's cool that you have a desk like this. Very nice. It is a lovely design. I will say that. And then looking into 3D printers, Vince. All right, remember, check out 3D Printed Tabletop on YouTube. Fantastic resource of information for those looking to get into 3D printing. Go check that channel out. Tell Danny I said hi. And I know you're on Facebook, right, Vincent? If you're on Facebook, get over to their Facebook group as well. Well, hello there. Oh, my goodness. Is that Xerxes? Trying. Oh, very cool. Yeah, they're neat. It's a neat collection of miniatures that, I mean, I've had them in the box for a while, and then I realized I can put these to use for the game. Chameleon fam, hello and thank you. It's good to see you. I know our schedules have been kind of dichotomous of each other. You're in one area and I'm in the other, and then neither of the two shall meet. Thank you so much. Yes, things are going well. Channel is keeping me hopping, as well as the live stream games, but I'm having fun. I don't live close to Scotty, but we do have chances to see each other because of common, whoa, that word just left my head, common conventions, because we like to go to Origins, and then husband's family is from the Ohio area as well. So we've had a few chances to be able to get to reconnect face to face as opposed to just through interwebs. But no, not in the Ohio area. I'm in the Northeast. Man, I'm telling you, this is just so much fun with the wood grain going on here. I'm a sucker for textures on miniatures. I really am. Fabrics, I will go nuts over. Just because it's one of those things. Thanks for stopping by, Alan. Always good to see you in the chat. Have a great class. Okay? I hope it's a good one. All right, I definitely need more paint. It's funny, you get so used to doing just smaller miniatures where like little bits of that paint gets put to use, and then when you use something that's got a lot more of the same color going on. Oh yeah, I need more than that. Xerxes. Did I get it? Am I closer at least? And hey, Lonely Havoc! Ah, it's a desk. You thought, no, but there is going to be a piano. I actually, Hubs is looking at 3D prints of mini grands. No pun intended. So I can get a piano going for the main floor of the establishment. Because that is absolutely necessary for my Bard NPC. He plays a piano. I need a piano, and I want it to be a baby grand. So keep an eye out for that one. That's definitely one I want to paint on these live streams because I think it would just be so much fun and just something out of the box. But yeah, there's plans for piano. This is Bianca's desk at this point. So I'm getting the what was it? Leather brown? Yes, leather brown on first. And then I'm going to layer other browns over it. And the reason why I'm going for those who are just jumping in, the reason why I'm using such a yellow color of a brown right now is because I want to bring out the warm tones in the wood first to give it a good base. I really do try with names. I am so sorry if I butcher them in the long run. It's truly nothing against you at all. It's more my brain trying to paint, talk, and pronounce at the same time. Yeah, drop it on someone. Sure. Actually, if they want to and the dice are saying, yeah, it's something that can happen, you never know. That's the one thing I really am liking about this is that it's got that more open, let's see what you can do with it mode going. Plus, the game is really meant to be sort of a let loose and enjoy type of game. It's not meant to be super intense because the super intense in-depth campaigns, that's what's being run during the day by the guys from Nerdarchy. I'm not saying I'm the comic relief, but I am the evening relief. If that makes any sense. And Lisa Chen, she's also doing an evening game. And I think we're going to be working together for one night and doing a murder mystery. I got to talk to her about that. I need to reach out to Lisa and we got to chat about that one too, because we're about to steer into March and oh my gosh, how is that possible? Like really, how is that possible? But yeah, now that you guys are talking about dropping a piano on someone, that is so not even something I considered. But now that you have mentioned it, I know to start getting those wheels turning in my head and think of a good way to set up those dynamics, because that could be a happening. That absolutely could be a happening. And I'm cracking up. Yeah, like right to Looney Tunes. That's exactly where my brain just went. With Bugs and Elmer Fudd or Daffy or Wile E. Coyote. Who else did the piano thing in Looney Tunes? Daffy Duck. I said that already, right? Well, hey. Still, I got to figure out how they're going to be dropping pianos on people's heads. And this is, for those joining in late, this is the desk and chair set. Literally, that's its name, from WizKids. So right now I'm working on the desk part, evidently. And then I'll jump over to doing the chair too today. Oh yeah, I put it over there. Like, but where did I put the mini? I moved the mini out of the way is what I did. Right now I'm just working on getting these edges with this color too. And then we're going to give this a chance to dry a little bit while I work on the chair. And then I'll start layering other browns on. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're good. We're doing nicely. Things are going nicely. So really the whole point with this is I'm not trying to get a full-on base color established. And you can see there's a little bit of modeling of the paint. It's not fully spot-on consistent, but that is okay. In fact, that is to your advantage. Because if you look at natural wood, it is not a consistent color underneath. And if you try and get that set flat color going, that's where you sort of get into the uncanny valley where it's like, okay, yes, you know it's supposed to be a wooden desk, but it kind of loses the depth that you'll find in wood and the warmth that you'll find in wood. So I just have this top layer to go, which means I'm going to change how I'm holding this. And then I will whip out my chair. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. There we go. So we'll get the desk and chair established with their base color dry brush going on. But this is definitely how I like to do wood in terms of bringing in undertones and colors and getting things going. Especially when there's great wood grain detail. I don't want that to get too muddled. Roadrunner and Coyote, yeah. War games like King of War. No, I have not had a chance. I mean, I'm telling you, Little Law, I have a list of games I really would genuinely love to try playing. Numenera is on deck for me over at Scradix Academy. It's not official, but that's one of those games I'm hoping to get in on, just so I can try out different ones. I loved playing Paranoia. That was a fun one. But things like Pathfinder and the such, I would love to get over there. I really would. It's a matter of doing silly things like eating and sleeping. Really, it's one of those things I was like, where did time go? Because I blinked. I truly blinked. Like, I feel like it should be November still. It's like, holy moly. I have that lovely, look, I'm magical. It's sticking. Get off my hand. So yeah, that's, there's all these things I'd love to play. And that's honestly why I'm kind of excited that PAX East is not jam-packed for me like PAX Unplugged was. Because it gives me a chance to actually, I don't know, sit down and play games with people. That would be lovely. PAX Unplugged that was insanity. Don't get me wrong, I loved every minute of it. I loved being able to hang out with other people and doing appearances and then doing my workshop. But I feel like I didn't have as much of a chance as I had hoped to actually sit and play games. So we'll see what happens with PAX East. Not that I'm dropping any hints or anything. I'm just saying. I'm not, going crazy, running all over the place like a maniac. Trying to be this, there, and the other thing going on. I love this chair. I want a chair like this for my vanity, okay? I've just made that statement. It is out there in the world. Just in case the husband's watching. Honey. Oh, God. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I would actually ask him. It's like, hey, could I get a chair like this? And he'd be very accommodating. It's more the joke of... I have a feeling that Bianca's room and her collection is going to be very much how I would want my own personal study and library and such to be in the environment I'm creating. Let's put it that way. But I'm loving a program I got on Steam. It's called... Oh God, Jolene, we're going to talk about in 2 seconds. I got a program off Steam called Portrait Wizard. If you want to create, especially if you're a DM and you want to create easy NPC portraits, it's like $20. So you can even wait for it to go on sale or when they have sales and stuff going on. Get it because it is worth the variety that you can start creating. I've already made a few NPCs. I mean, they're PCs in my head is the problem. NPCs, and I actually have them up on my Pinterest account. I've started loading that up a little bit, but I love the fact that I can now create an approximation of who it is I'm picturing in my head. So if you're looking for a good source to help you with NPC portraits, Portrait Wizard. Go and check it out on Steam. But then last night, oh my God, Jolene. Was it Jolene who brought that up? Yes. Oh no, bees. Oh my God. Thank you, Vincent. That's sweet of you. Last night, Jolene is talking about a game I played last night. It was sort of like a little micro RPG type deal done by Strad Von Z on Twitter. I think that's his @ And Jake on Mini Terrain Domain, he DM'd myself, Brian from Initiative Coffee, Jason Teeter, he's also active over on Twitter, and Baron, who's another active player over on Absolute Tabletop. Oh my God, all these names. I'm getting out of breath. And it was basically, the premise was You go in, you roll to find out what your PC is going to be, and your PC gets specific dance moves. So basically, it was a dance off. And it's just, oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard. My cheeks actually are still kind of hurting from it, just from smiling and laughing so much. But at one point, and it was during the dance off with Strahd, the man himself, it was the druid's turn, and Brian was playing the druid. And so basically the whole thing was, as you describe your dance move. So Brian starts describing how he, as a druid, is calling together this horde of bees, and they're taking on a form of another person that he can dance with as a partner. And he says, in the most deadpan, straightforward, no emphasis whatsoever. I did take a clip of this, and it's on my Twitter account if you want to check it out. And I call this dance "Oh No Bees." And I start cracking up. Jake starts cracking up. I think the game got slightly broken at that point with just the two of us losing it. And Brian was just sitting there with a smile on his face too, which made it all the better. So if you're on Twitter, go on to, did I share it on Facebook? I think I shared it on Facebook. I'll share it on Facebook if I didn't. But go and check it out, because it was just one of those things, you're watching it and it's just like, oh my God, that was just so much fun. So this is the special little chair that comes along with it. Let me just get that little. But this has more of that fun wood grain to it. And as you can see, it's all wood. Now is that, oh, I see what that is. All right. That is, let me get a little there, in there. Okay. So we have that going. And then let this dry a little bit. I'm going to move back over to the desk. So what I'm going to start doing is adding on other colors. Cleaning the brush is also helpful. And I forgot to get my brush cleaner out. Let's see here. Oh, Achille, that's actually a fun idea. Treat myself to some owlbear cubs. Vince! Actually, I might treat myself to a new backup camera. I hate to say it, one just went kaput on me literally 10 minutes before streaming. That's what happens though. It's like I see these things I'd love to get, but then there are the expenses of streaming. Let's see, Grimlock. Do you ever think you would paint a Gundam model? Okay, Gundam is a new name for me. Familiarize me with Gundam. Is there a specific one you're thinking of? That's when I go to search after the stream and take a look at stuff and go from there. Oh, and for those of you who are new, this is my I Love It brush cleaner. It's great for conditioning and all that loveliness. I think I have this up on my Amazon shop on my website too, to make it easier to find. And there it is. So what I'm going to go in now with is Smokey Ink. And this is actually going to be dropping the brown down a tone or two. For some reason, this paint's a little bit thinner, which is why I'm doing it with this one. What you're going to want to do is, as you start layering on the colors, you're essentially going to be creating glazes or thicker washes, essentially. And you're going to start layering these colors back on to bring more of the tones of wood in. Let me see here. Or is this the one that is actually okay? Hold on, let me check. No, this is the one that's a lot thinner. All right, so you can see on my hand here, it's a darker tone than the, how sad is it I can use my hand for like a background reference. You can see it's got more of a darker tone to it, but it's still got a yellow undertone, which is important. If you want to keep your warm tones, make sure you stick with your warm browns, because browns can be warms and browns can be cool. And by those, I mean warm means undertones of reds, oranges, yellows. Blues mean tones of greens, blues, purples are cool tones. So that's it helps to make sure that you're not combining the two, because when you start combining warm and cool together, you get a very muddied, muted effect with your paints. So what I'm using now is the Vallejo Smokey Ink. I was about to say it in Spanish. Age of Sigmar. See, if you'd like me to paint these things, I'm all for having things sent to me. Why not? That's my being a brat. Yeah, honestly, it's one of those things where I literally paint the stuff that I have accessible and handy to me. So it's not that I wouldn't ever. It's just I don't have to paint. Like literally, I don't possess it to paint. Giant robots you have to build and paint. A lot of tutorials are overcomplicated. I'm wondering if it'd be painted more easily. That's interesting. I will look into seeing what they're about. I'm not making any promises, but I will look in to see it. Might maybe question mark. We'll treat it as a maybe question mark. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so now I'm going back in with this Smokey Ink. This is what I wanted. Yep. Yep. Mama's happy. Now you can see what I mean. It's essentially like acting like a wood stain. Wood on actual wood. How many times can I say wood? A wood stained wood on an actual wood. But you can see how it's getting, you still have some of the leather brown, but you're getting that darker color playing in. And then once you do a wash of the Agrax, which I did not pull out, that's when you really get the layering effects going on. So I'm going to do Smokey Ink on everything. Then you're going to rewind. Then we're going to do a wash of the Agrax Earthshade from Citadel. And then that is going to show you the depths of the wood look that I got from the other desk that I did from Tiny Furniture, which are Hearst art molds, I want to say. And then I'll show you the last little finishing touch I do to bring out the edge details that I like to do on wood, to give it more of the, because if you've seen like old desks and old dressers and things like that, they have a worn quality to their sharper corners. So that's why I want to make sure I show that part too, which ironically will be in part 2. Oh, I forgot to get that little dude right there. That's easy enough to fix. All right, so I'm going to take this to the back now and keep bringing the Smokey Ink across. Now, because this Smokey Ink that I personally have is thinner, I didn't bother thinning this. But you will want to thin out. Yeah, Vincent, I know I promised it, but promises have to be broken in this case because, holy wow, time got away from me. And you want to thin this out if you have to thin your colors. You want to thin it out so it's about the consistency of cream. Not the color, but cream as in the dairy product you'd put into your coffee. And that way it blends more smoothly and it doesn't overpower the original color that is on, which is the brown leather. But this is how you start getting depth and wood grain looks to your plastic pieces. At least that's how I do it. All right, let me just quickly, I'm going to rinse my brush quickly, get more of that leather brown up there while I still have some of that. And then I'll go to the other side. I know, I think the sci-fi stuff might actually have to happen after the castle at this rate, simply because I gotta do things. And the thing is, it's not even just the miniatures and the terrain I have to make. I still got to work on finishing up the encounters of the homebrew and getting everything lined up, doing test runs of it, play tests, and all that jazz. And all that jazz. Totally pun intended on that one. And yeah, so the sci-fi stuff, I do want to do sci-fi. I have already started collecting things for sci-fi. This is probably going to be more summer of 2019 than winter of 2019. All right, so I'm going to move over to this other side, rinse the brush. Otherwise, that's going to make a lovely mucky color if I didn't rinse between the two. And flip. I'm actually going to turn it upside down. So that was my stomach if that's what the microphone picked up. I didn't have lunch yet. What kind of varnish are you going to cover these with? I'm not going to use a varnish, little wall. What I've actually started using that Plaid sent me to test run for them, and I'm so glad they did because I'm loving it. It is there. Where did I put? Let me finish this and I'll show you the product. Let me finish this slide, I should say. Plaid sent, and it's coming out in a week, I believe. In a week, they are going to be releasing a new product called Mod Podge Ultra. It comes in matte and it comes in gloss. And it is a sprayable Mod Podge based product that I'm loving. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate that. And that is what I have started using for my minis, both for matte and both for gloss, because they are, oh, here. Okay. So this is a gloss. This is what I'm going to use to seal the desk up and the chair, so it has that varnish look to it, because it's not an in-your-face shiny. No, it's got a nice polish to it. It looks like polished furniture, actually, when you're using it. So this is what I'm going to be sealing these up with. You can also use, there's like brush-on ones you could use. I have used Vallejo's gloss in the past, or satin. I think it was satin. Pardon me, but that's the plan for how I'm going to seal them to keep the little sheen going. Okay, now we're to the front. To the front. To the front. Yeah, sorry, I'm still stuck in like dance party mode. But if you want to go and see that, it is video on demand right now on Mini Terrain Domain's Twitch channel. And it will go up on the YouTube channel tomorrow, I believe. And we'll take it there. Drink half. Oh no, Grimlock. You're not supposed to drink it. Don't drink the wash. Yeah, I've done silly things like that where the paintbrush has gone in the wrong cup. Yummy. Yeah, the pre-made gloss. It's a really nice one. What I'll do is I'll grab the other desk when I have a nice stopping point, and I'll show you what it looks like. Because it's just subtle, and it's not the type of, because I find some glosses, especially the ones you use from a spray can, talk about overpowering. It's like I might as well have just taken clear nail polish and put it onto them instead, because the gloss is so intense sometimes. But yeah, still working with the Smokey Ink. And it even looks like how when you stain wood. And I think that's the other thing that helps. If you've never done stained wood before, and you want to try and get a better feel for how wood can be painted to look like, or plastic can be painted to look like stained wood, stain some scrap wood. I know that sounds silly, but it does help your eye pick up the nuances of colors and how things work together. The Mod Podge is going to hit it May 4th officially. I do have a link to that somewhere. I think it might be in my Amazon shop, but that's going to come up soon, next week, like I said. Definitely get in on it because I'm very, 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 very happy camper, as is Wylock, because he got to try it out too. We both really liked the results from it. Okay, so you can see it's starting to... That sort of gives you the whole difference in tones there. So we have just the leather brown here, and the leather brown with the overlayer of Smokey Ink on top right there. And let's see here. Plastic glue tastes nice, almost like honey. Things you never thought you'd learn, but hey, now you know. Now you know. I'll put the links for I think I did put them. It's probably from a past live stream. I put those links in. I'll put the link in for the Mod Podge in the description after we're done. We'll do that because it's definitely a product that I'm getting behind because of how much I liked using it. And still keeping up with Smokey Ink. But it's nice. It's working like the stain on the wood, which is what I wanted. Now on the inside, I'm not trying to get too into the recesses. I'm actually letting some of that black sort of stay and live there because I want that to have more of the shadowed, lived-in look. And the bottom also has a lot of really cool wood grain detail to it. It's not really going to be seen, so I'm not going to worry about getting that all painted up today. Well, I'll do it off camera, essentially, is what I'm saying. Because that's one of those things where it's very quick and easy to recapture what I just did here. All right, time for the top, and then we'll move this over to the chair. And then these guys will get the Agrax Earthshade wash. And then next week I will show you how I enhance the edges. And I can pull out the other desk that I painted up so you can see what I'm talking about there. All right, I think we got front, side, back, other side. Yep, okay. So this guy, there we go. Gotta find the right lighting. So you can see there's the modeling here, which is what you want with wood. You have your lighter tones, your darker tones, your mid tones all coming out through this, which, yay. All right, so we're gonna let him dry. And hello, Game Masters Vault, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a while. God, I'm telling you, this winter is just getting away from me. Oops. Clink. I just knocked over my paint thinner in case I needed it. Where did I put the chair? There's the chair. I found the chair. So now to the chair. Same treatment, going back in with the Smokey Ink from Vallejo. And because my particular Smokey Ink is a little bit thinner, I don't have to thin it out. But do make sure you thin yours out if it is thicker than the consistency of heavy cream. All right. I try and give real life references to make it easier for people to kind of get where I am coming from in the pictures in my head, because sometimes the pictures in my head can be a very scary place. Oh God. Speaking of scary places, I'm telling you, some of the stuff I go to search information about I know I'm on someone's tracking list because of just things. I'm like, well, how? It's like, DM stuff. You're trying to get information that's a little bit more on par and background. Like I needed to modify a couple of weapons. So I did a search in terms of how far some of these weapons can shoot. And that was a fun search. I felt so weird typing it in. But hey, for the love of the game. This one's going to be a lot faster to paint up because it's smaller pieces of wood. But the same idea, I'm just going across with the Smokey Ink. And it's still letting the leather brown play through, which is what I want. I don't want this to be a flat. I need to get the back. I don't want it to be a totally flat color. Because that's not what wood is. Wood is lovely and rich and deep in tone. So let's play with that, shall we? Happy little wooden furniture. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I won't go Bob Ross on you. All right, so this one I think we got all. Yep. Okay, so this one is all. There you go. And you can see again how we have the different undertones playing around now. Hooray! Hooray and huzzah! Fun stuff. I'm going to have to go back in because this is so recessed. I am definitely going to have to go in with just a little bit of black before I do the wash. Just to get that not popping out. And I know this is one of those things you're not going to see it from 3 feet away, but for me this is one of those things. So yeah, here we have our desk is over here. And we have our chair. So they're going to get that washed with Acrylics. And then let me just quickly jump off screen and I'm going to go grab the other desk, which is right over here. 1 second. All right, here we go. So this is the one that I painted from Tiny Furniture that I ordered from them. So here is, you can see this is the gloss on it, which it looks like furniture polish, which is awesome. And I really like how it came out. And the spray factor is quite nice. But that's what I used to seal this guy up. And this is what I'm talking about with the worn edges. What I'll do next week is I'm going to show you how to do this worn edge effect. Where those straighter edges are, just to kind of give it that more lived-in look of things. This is actually going to be the reception desk on the first level. So this desk is coming with me to England. And the funny thing is the back of it was just kind of like didn't have as much detail as the WizKids one, which I thought was interesting. But obviously the books I'm going to play around and do things like print on that. But yeah, so this is what I did with this one. Ta-da! So that's the plan for next week. I will show you how to do the wear on the edges. And then I will jump back over to, I think what I'll do is I'm going to finish up the potion bottles and just get the washes on them because that's pretty straightforward of getting the polish on first and the washes and leaving it at that. And then I'll jump over to doing I'll show you these other pieces. While I have you here, I'll show you the other parts. So what I'm going to do next week, once I get the desk and chair done, I will jump over to this lovely cauldron, which already I have painted all black. And this I'm going to highlight and everything. This, I think what I'm going to do is jump back over to one of the polishes. And I'm thinking this might be kind of fun to play around with. I don't know. I got to think about what I want this color to become for sure. So the cauldron will be getting addressed. This little scrying, I'm calling it a scrying pool just because it looks like a bird bath. I don't think it's supposed to be a bird bath. And then not even kidding. Ooh, that would have been bad. Look at these little bitty gargly goyles. I love them already. But these gargoyle bookends I'm going to get painted up. And then what I'm going to do is there's a stack of books I will be painting too. And once they're painted and the gargoyles are painted, the gargoyles are going to go on either side here. And this is what's going to get glued to the top of yonder desk. Just as like a fun little touch right there. I'm heading over for D&D in a Castle as one of their DMs. Caverswall Castle, which is in Oh, why am I blanking on which shire it's in? But yeah, that's all be going in England. It's in the Wales area. Is it Wales? Kind of like where Wales and Scotland sort of meet up. Vincent, if you're still there, help! It's closer to Manchester. Let's put it that way. It's closer to Manchester than it is to London. So there are these books that I'm going to do, and then we have the lovely open book, which someone did mention, well, it helps if you turn it the right side. Someone did mention the details on this are insane. So I actually have no problem. It's like, okay, get the details painted and then popping it onto the pedestal like so. I mean, hey, I flip my bindings over like that. And there's more little stacks of books. There's just really neat little accessories. A singular book. Is that one book? Yeah, just a singular book, which that might be one where I put it onto the desk itself and kind of pop it into place. But yeah, that's basically the game plan for next week. We're going to keep going with painting these accessories up. So we'll finish up the desk and chair. I'll move on to these lovely little nibbly bits. And then, no, those colors are not nail varnish. These are jumping back into Vallejo's. The bottles were nail polish stuff. So next week I will see you same time, same place, same miniatures to finish up. But I'm really looking forward to sharing this all with you. Thank you so much for everyone who jumped in today. It was so good to see you all again. I am so sorry with all the weird scheduling that's been happening because of illness and weather. But yeah, so join me next week. I'm looking forward to it. Take care, everyone, and have a great day. And don't forget, if you want to see me DMing, jump over to Scraticus Academy on Twitch. I will be DMing at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, doing BB's Place, which is basically what all of this is for. So I will talk with you all later. Bye, everyone. Maybe. There we go.